someone nutrition and diet, most people, think it must be some exotic diet plan, something really very interesting, something different, like some superfoods, which I think are quinoa, for example, almond milk, coconut milk. Then there is this black bean noodles and avocados. Then there are these different types of diets you must have heard about: keto diet, Atkins diet, paleo diet. These are the trendy names, and we are totally influenced by it because they have been followed by the celebrities and the other famous people. Now these are not only gluten free diets, or the keto diets, or they are not only gluten free or dairy free, or I think common sense free, frankly speaking, because if you ask me, maintaining a healthy diet is not rocket science. If you want to, improve good dietary habits, and you want to be sustainable, long term, then they should be based on common sense. As simple as that. Okay. Now, the techniques which I will be giving you may not be sounding all that glamorous. Okay. Which the celebrities get attracted to. But they are the simple, you know, uh, probably this diet tips are not to impress people, or you cannot impress the people, but trust me, they are really effective and sustainable. Mind you, sustainable is the key over here, because gluten free, like, it's not going to last long. You cannot be without roti and without rice, without our daily normal wheat roti and all. So to last long, you have to be eating a sustainable diet, okay? And otherwise, you'll be back to square one. You can lose weight even with gluten free, but it may not be sustainable. It may not be long term. Okay, so I'm going to give you a simple menu, as you can see in this picture. Roti, sabzi, dal, and this idli and sambar combination, the rice and dal combination. There is khichdi. Then the last pic is showing egg burji and pav. So these are all the best combinations which are available to us. As you can see, there is this egg burji and pav, which gives you a complete protein, because egg in itself is a complete protein. But for vegetarians, definitely it becomes very difficult to have this complete protein. So that is why this combination I have shown over here is rice and dal. Khichdi combination, which again includes rice and dal combination. Then there is idli, wherein again we have rice and urad dal and all. And there is roti and dal combination also. So this dal, why I'm specifying more on grains and dal is that because vegetarians usually have this incomplete proteins in our food, and that is what is a major concern these days. I will further talk about this protein topic ahead. So this rice and dal combination becomes a complete protein because dals are rich in the amino acid called as lysine, whereas the rice is rich in the amino acid methionine. Okay, so when you combine this lysine and methionine combination, it becomes a complete protein. So all these options which we see in our daily routine, normal Indian kitchen household, all these recipes are made. So you don't have to go out of the way and cook something special. In fact, we have to avoid some common mistakes, like, we skip a lot of breakfast in the morning, ये समझ के अरे idli is too fattening or dosa is too fattening, we'll avoid it for the breakfast. But no, actually having that is really good for your health. You are having a complete protein and you're missing out on that. The second common mistakes which we make is, binge eating in the evening times. Suppose you missed out on breakfast, and you have had your lunch, I don't know, wait, and suddenly that hunger pang and you start binge eating. So that 4 6 p.m., which I've normally seen with all my most of my clients, that is the time they have this hunger pang and they start having binge eating. And then there is the late dinner mistakes, what they make, having late dinner, or they jump onto soups or salads, which is again a common myth that not having dinner will help you lose weight. The fourth commonest mistake which we see is drinking excessive tea, coffee, the aerated drinks, which are easily and readily available. And the fifth is emotional eating. Emotional eating is like you have to understand that you're really hungry, or it's just out of emotions you are getting hungry. Like sometimes, some people get really hungry when and they really become very angry during that time. So you have to take those emotional cues. What is that particular time? Be mindful of what you're eating, especially considering what your emotions are at that time. Sometimes you get some sad news and you feel like you having some pizza and pasta. Sometimes you feeling low and bored and you feel like having, chalo, let's have a chocolate or ice cream. So these are all the cues which you have to take care of. Now, the second most important other point is measurable, as I said. We have to see this pyramid, as you can see. Okay, since the school, we have been hearing this, pyramid, food pyramid in our books, in our textbook. You all must have seen this pyramid. So, what exactly, how do you eat looking at this pyramid, So, we have been hearing of this balanced diet, but everyone you talk to, who said about what is exactly the balanced diet, like, how exactly should we make our diet balanced? How should we include all these things, whatever is there in the pyramid into our real meal? Okay, so let's get an understanding about what are the components of our daily diet, what it should be. As you see, the largest amount of the servings are from the water. Okay, it is almost 8 servings of water are required in this pyramid. And the second most important servings are the carbs. Okay, carbohydrates, which includes all the bread, roti, rice, pasta, noodles, everything get included. Almost 6 servings. These servings I'm mentioning is for an adult person. Okay, and the third important serving is of fruit and vegetables, which is around 3 to 5 servings. And then comes the protein servings, which are almost around 2 to 3 servings, which includes non-vegetarian, eggs, fish, and all for non-vegetarians, and dairy products for the vegetarians. And the last servings are of fats and oils and sugars, which is not more than 2 servings per day. To explain it in a more easier way, I'll just move on to the next slide. And in this slide, you can see that there is this 55% of carbohydrates and 20% of unsaturated fats and 10% of saturated fats and only 15% of protein. Okay, I'm sure, I'm sure you must be, thinking on seeing this slide and seeing this pie chart that how would I lose weight, or how would I gain muscle mass with such less protein and so much of carbs. Okay, so much of because we have always been hearing that myth, high protein, high protein, high protein. Like in this COVID times, also high protein diet is very important. But I tell this to all my clients, who come to me and say that I have, I'll give you an example. My client recently last week, he just came up and said that I have been having a lot of high carb, high protein diet, and I've decreased my carb, and still I am not losing my weight. Okay, so only sometimes then I tell them that this is the wrong diet, and when I tell them that you are supposed to include carbs, okay, and not have so much of protein, they are shocked. Only after seeing the results, they get to know, no, 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 what was I saying was correct. So what actually is in reality, proteins are also important, but our body being, it's used to using carbohydrates as the primary source of energy. Okay, whenever we eat roti, rice, and all, we get a lot of energy, and our body is used to taking energy from carbohydrates. And proteins are then, when included, when you have enough carbohydrates and then you include proteins, these proteins are spared for the repair and wear and tear and building of the lean muscle mass. Okay, so it's only when you have enough carbohydrates, the proteins are spared. So this is a very important point wherein we forget that carbohydrates are not important and only protein is important. And therefore, another myth is that fats. Okay, even fats people think are that is very not important, and if you stop eating fats, you will lose fat. So that is also another myth, but it is not that way. In fact, if you have a lot of fat, which includes if you avoid fat and have only carbs, suppose you're having rice, but you don't add any ghee or whatever, you have oil free dal or something with it. So the rice being only carbs, okay, it has got high glycemic index. It will increase your insulin level, okay, and you will feel more hungry, and the blood sugar levels will have a sudden rise and a sudden drop. Whereas if you include your dal with a tadka, if you include your rice, if you add some ghee in your rice dal combination, okay, then the blood insulin levels, the insulin won't be secreted in a higher amount. In fact, there will be a stabilized secretion of blood sugar throughout 3 to 4 hours, and you'll not feel hungry faster. Okay, so that is why, especially the unsaturated fat is also very more important than the saturated fat. Okay, and one more concept is there, it's the that calorie intake, like if you have more food intake, be it whatever, carbohydrates, proteins, whatever you increase, have more carbohydrates or have more proteins, which your body doesn't require, then whatever it is going to be getting converted to fat. Even proteins get converted to fat if it is not required for the body. So this is one big concept we have to understand in our weight management. Now there are these achievable practices. Okay, what is achievable practices? In the sense, it is very easy to maintain your diet when your schedules are really predictable. Okay, chalo, aaj normal routine hai. 7 o'clock you get up, 8:30 you have your breakfast, and you go to your college, you attend the lectures and everything. 4:30 it's getting over. You had your lunch by 1. So everything is predictable in this. Okay, but the problem starts when your schedule becomes unpredictable. Okay. And that is when you have to maintain your flexibility. So the challenge is to maintain your schedule, especially when it goes haywire. And it is especially true for all the students, with that academic pressure you face. And, so here are the basic tips, which I would like to give you when your schedule becomes unpredictable. Just follow. I'll just show you in my next slide. Just follow this checklist. There is this checklist, wherein you have this, you keep a checklist of this, maintain a diary, or, just try to remember these points, whether you have been able to achieve these points or not. Like you missed out on your three main meals, either breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Okay. Breakfast ideally should be getting over by around, say, 8 a.m. Then the lunch should be around 1 p.m. and dinner at the most by 8 p.m. should be your last, dinner time. Then try to check whether you've had any mid-meal snacks, whether you have forgotten to have your snacks. That is, mid-meal snacks come between your breakfast and lunch, and it comes between your lunch and dinner. So it's very important to have a mid-meal snack to keep your metabolism, high, to increase your BMR. So, and always be high on energy also, so that you don't pick up the wrong food or you don't eat the wrong food when you become hungry. That is why this concept of mid-meal snacks. So you can always carry a fruit, or say nuts like almonds, peanuts, whatever is readily available in and around your area. And you can have this seasonal fruit also. Seasonal, as in you don't have to go out of your way and to buy any particular fruit or anything. Whatever is locally seasonally available, like banana is seasonally available all the 12 months. And then there is this apple, pear, whatever is seasonal. Any small fruit is, fine as a meal snack. Okay, now this one bowl of raw salad is very, very important, to include that raw salad, because it helps in increasing the fiber in your dinner, especially in the dinner time. Okay, that is the trick, because it is considered as a more complex carb. So include this raw salad in your dinner time. Okay, and check out your water intake, and try to sleep enough, and daily exercises. So this is a checklist which which is very, very important, and you have to keep it, with you, and keep it in your back of your mind whether you have completed all your checklist or not. Now this is a stress. Stress, especially, which can lead to poor eating habits, and the first thing what you can see in this picture is forgetting water. The component. These are the components these are the biggest mistakes which we do whenever we have stress, especially during the exam times in the medical students. Okay. So the biggest folly what we make over here is forgetting to drink water. The water being the basic component of our body, okay, and it is very easily available. Still, we forget to drink water, right? And it is very cheap also. So this water is basically it affects the absence of this water in our body affects us more than actual absence of food also. The food absence of food won't affect us that much the way the absence of water affects us in our body. And as you know, the function of the water is to distribute the nutrients of the body and remove the waste. Okay, so my advice to you is to constantly drink water throughout the day. No, you cannot drink 1 liter of water or two, three glasses at one go and say, "Arey, मैंने आज मेरा quota खत्म कर दिया." No, it should not be like that. It should be drinking 1 to 2 glasses of water every 2 to 3 hourly. It should be spread throughout the day. And almost three-fourths of our water what we drink is utilized by our brain. So imagine even 1 to 2% of less intake of water is going to affect us. It is going to make us dull. It is going to make us lazy, unproductive. Okay, and sometimes what I have also experienced is in spite of having a good meal, we are still hungry. So in reality, what is happening is that our thirst and hunger centers are very, next to each other in the brain. So we may have had a proper meal, but we are still hungry. But it is actually we need water. So it is best to have one glass of water. When we are confused that why we are hungry. In spite of having a meal. Okay, so these are the anti-stress foods, and the foods what you should avoid. In the previous picture also we saw that there are this junk food and all the boys having a burger. So this burger is actually nothing but a trans fat, and this is the worst type of fat you can have. So this actually fat is going to add on to your calories. It is high on calories, especially, and it is going to increase your cholesterol and the bad fat. That is the LDL. We check the LDL levels in our lipid profile. So this is caused by this trans fat. Another the important food is which should be avoiding is the pre-cooked and the packaged food, especially which is you can see this photo over here with Maggie with noodles in it, especially the Maggie what we have. It is also because it is packaged and processed food are a lot of high in preservatives, and these preservatives act on our brain signals. They decrease the functioning of our brain. That is why we have to avoid this pre-packaged foods, and they're high on salt as well as they're high on sugar. Okay, the sugar rich foods, as you can see, there is donuts and the pastries, and also those fruit juices which are packaged on which it is written no added sugar, but that is just the advertising gimmick. No added sugar means there's already some sugar in it, but there is no sugar is added into it. So it's very important to avoid fruit juices. They are also heavily adulterated with sugars and all. Then comes caffeine. Caffeine, yes, it is a mood booster. It increases your alertness, but I would consider it into making your brain dull, because it is, ideally not to have 2 or 3 cups of coffee in a day, and not after 5 p.m. Okay, because after 5 p.m., when you try to have caffeine, it leads to insomnia, it leads to restlessness, it leads to more anxiety, and dehydration is a common complaint because caffeine has a tendency to dehydrate your body. So it's very important, to have at least 2 cups of water when you're having 1 cup of coffee. And one more disadvantage of having coffee is that you become dose dependent. Okay, suppose you are having just 1/4 teaspoon or half teaspoon today. After a few weeks or a few months, your body gets adapted to that dose, and that's why you every time then you need to increase your dose to become more alert. So an ideal swap for that I would advise you to have is a green tea, what you can see in the picture over here, which are considered as brain boosters or brain food. So this green tea is also a good swap for caffeine because it is high in uh, compound, which is called as L-theanine. This theanine, it crosses the blood-brain barrier and it increases the activity of the GABA neurotransmitters. Okay, thus it makes us more alert, it makes us more focused and decreases the dullness. And this all will lead to, there is this L-theanine is also an amino acid, so it saves you from the stimulation of the caffeine which is present in the tea. Sometimes there is this slight amount of caffeine is also seen in tea. So this L-theanine will help us, in it prevents the overstimulation which is caused by that. So one can relax, by having a green tea, at the same time can remain focused also. The other food which is really important over here as we see is eggs. Eggs have got this choline, which is helps in again good signals for neurotransmitter signals and also improves our memory. And we can include berries in our diet. Berries are also considered to be rich in antioxidants. Berries, like, whenever there's a season of strawberries and blueberries, we can include them in our diet because they also help in improving our uh, memory, and it protects our brain from oxidative stress as well as improves the communication in between the brain cells. Okay, so this omega 3 also, which I missed out on the point, is that the 60% of the brain, which is made up of omega 3, and it requires omega 3 for the proper functioning, as it is anti-inflammatory also, and it improves our memory as well as learning. In fact, the researchers prove that omega 3 helps in improving our gray matter, that is our intelligence, okay, which is going to help us control our memory, and it also helps us in decision making and control the emotions too. So it is for the optimal level of brain functioning. Omega 3 is very, very important, which gets included in walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, and fatty fish. These are all the important foods in which omega 3 is found. The second most important spice, which is not mentioned in this, but I would like to include, is turmeric. Okay, haldi doodh, turmeric latte, which I would like all the students to have it, at night before the day of exam. Because curcumin is the major compound in turmeric, and it is going to boost your growth hormone. It helps in the improving in the functioning, better functioning of the brain cells, as this curcumin passes through the blood-brain barrier and it will feed the brain cells. So drinking a turmeric latte the previous night of your exam is going to uplift your mood. And then comes the main attractive picture, what you see over here, the chocolate. Chocolate, I mean, is a dark chocolate which includes almost, 80% of cocoa in it. That means it is going to be slightly bitter in taste, but it is going to improve your mental task, and it is going to be again a mood booster, and it will help in dealing with your memory also. So these are the anti-stress food, especially the brain boosters and the foods you should prefer during your exams. Okay, so let's go to this, easy swap, or, how to replace, the unwanted, unhealthy foods which you crave for. So there is this first column which shows chips and biscuits and Maggie and all noodles, quick, ready to eat foods. Here you can replace them with makana. Okay, it is called as the lotus seeds, and it is also easily found in the shops. You can roast it, or you can buy ready-made makana also, which is very good for health. It is high in protein and again high in good fats. Then comes the second option, nuts and seeds, as I told you in the previous slide, the walnuts and the seeds like the pumpkin seeds. Okay, I would like to talk about the pumpkin seeds over here. The pumpkin seeds are very high in three important nutrients, that is magnesium, the zinc, and the iron. Now, zinc is very important for immunity, as we all know in this lockdown and this pandemic. So try to include this pumpkin seeds, which is very good for health. The iron, which is going to help in boosting your brain functioning also, and it will decrease your fatigue and your weakness at the same time. And there is copper in this pumpkin seeds, which controls nerve signals. Zinc, which is present, is also important for nerve signaling in our body. And the third most important nutrient which is present in pumpkin seeds is magnesium. Magnesium is going to help in good memory as well as learning. Okay, and it is also very, very important. Thus, most of us, when we have this concentration problem during exams, adding 1 to 2 teaspoons of pumpkin seeds daily will improve the concentration and will help us in memory and our examination times. The second swap over here, which I have written over here, is mayonnaise and butter, which is almost found in all the junk foods and all, the burgers, the subways, and all the sandwiches. But you can easily swap it. You when you order, suppose you are ordering a subway. There are a lot of ready-to-eat foods. You don't have time to prepare. You don't, especially those students who are living in hostels who don't have time to prepare their food, dinner, and all. They are ordering a subway or a burger. Just try to swap your mayonnaise and butter with either a mustard sauce, or you can just tell them to prepare your burgers without them, and you can add it when you get it at your place. When they order it, after the food comes, you can add these healthy sauces, like this healthy Greek yogurt or a mustard sauce or a peanut butter or a simple green chutney, what we have it in our daily household. So these are a good swaps for that. And for especially the aerated drinks and the fruit juices, just avoid those packaged drinks. In fact, go for buttermilk, go for coconut water, or simply whole fruits. And when you have this craving for chocolates and ice creams, I would prefer you to go for the protein bars or the energy bars, or even a dark chocolate which has got more than 70% of cocoa. Okay. So now, when the many of us might listen to this session, and you must have got really motivated, okay, and supercharged. Okay, now I'm really going to lose weight, and chalo aaj se strict diet chalu, and within 8 days, 8 week में मैं 10 kilo वजन कम कर दूंगी, and etc. But don't fall into this vicious cycle of starvation. Okay, so it is very, very important, okay, to eat and to eat healthily is the most important thing over here. Like as you see over here, when you start to lose weight, you will easily see that your weight is dropping. The kgs are dropping in the weighing scale. You will see, अरे मेरा आज एक दिन में 1 kilo वजन कम हो गया. But that weight loss is not because of fat mass, but because of your muscle mass in the body. So that is not a good sign. But when we begin to lose weight, when we begin to lose muscle, we come in the second phase wherein we start losing a loss of water, a loss of salt from our body. Okay, the glycogen muscle mass is lost. Fat is also lost, but the loss of muscle mass is more than the loss of fat. Okay, now what happens is that after a period of weight loss, then you will find a weight loss plateau. There is no further weight loss because the body doesn't have the energy to burn more fat or more muscle. Okay, body slows down. The BMR, the metabolism of the whole body slows down, and then it is now trying to save energy because you are not eating enough food. Because you are very happy with the earlier results, the early two phases where you were losing weight and you are very happy, but then later on there is a plateau, and because that the body is not going to lose more weight now, in fact it's trying to save energy. And that is when in the fourth phase, you're going to start craving all the wrong foods, and you're going to start binge eating, and again the cycle of weight gain is going to start. So this is the starvation cycle. Don't fall for it. And that is why our target, the last point which I said in smart nutrition is the target. It is like it should be a smart target, losing only 0.5 to 1 kg. It is the most sustainable weight loss. 0.5 to 1 kg per week. Okay, weight loss, or for those people who want to have weight gain. Okay, not more, not less. This is going to be sustainable. It is going to be more of a lifestyle change rather than going for any fat diets or anything. So you can achieve this target, by doing sustainable workouts or sustainable physical activity throughout the day. For example, if you're going to college, if you have to go to college, instead, if it's you're staying nearby, or if you're you can take a cycle, or you can just walk up to your, or you take, instead of going, taking a taxi, or just go for a walk, or you can take a cycle to reach your college. The second most important thing is that you're waiting for an elevator. Instead of waiting for an elevator, just take the stairs. That is another way to be active throughout the day. It is like, killing two birds with one stone. That philosophy we are using over here. You're going to save a lot of time also at the same time, as well as you're going to be active, and you're going to be constantly moving around, by walking and taking up stairs and everything. Then suppose after the college gets over, after 4:30, you're just sitting in your room, and you're just watching some Netflix series or anything. Open your yoga mat, try to do some stretches, do some ab workouts, okay, and do some yoga poses, at the same time you're watching it, instead of just sitting on the couch. And then again, you can, after dinner, go for a walk. So in that way, you can keep a count of the total number of steps you are doing throughout the day. And at the same time, you must be knowing that saying, slow and steady wins the race. I'm sure that people, who made this saying, were just referring to the diet planning. So that's all about it. Thank you. And uh, a special thanks to Dr. Snehal Balveer, and the Cultural Secretary, Dr. Eva Jain, and Dr. Simran Rao. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this lecture. It was very informative for us. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Do you want some question answer round, Snehal? Do you have any queries?
No, I don't have. Anyone want to ask any questions?
Yeah, please, you all are free to ask, if you all want to know anything more about any food stuff, or how do we swap our foods.
Hello.
Yeah, Sneha.
In ho- yeah, mostly in hostel, people are like eating whatever like they get from tapri or the mess. So can you just suggest a better way, like if we can do anything in
Yeah,
room?
suppose, okay, so in a mess or in a tapri, suppose you are having this sandwiches or something like that, So instead of going for this, you should avoid butter, okay, and tell them to make sandwiches with chutney. There will be a lot of salad in it, so that is going to become a healthier option, okay. Then try to have a lot of, as I gave you that Subway idea also, tell them not to put any sauces and all. You add it when the sandwiches reaches to you, and you can add some healthy sauces like Greek yogurt can act as a mayonnaise. Okay. So what are the other options which are there? Like suppose if you're having what is the common food? Actually, I wanted to know what do the students have at the tapri or the mess or the canteen.
Mostly from the tapri, people have chips and the drinks, and mostly they eat the Maggie if they didn't
Yeah,
get
so
anything to.
Maggie, so we have to avoid only because it is packaged and processed, and it is very high on sugar and all. So better to keep a ready-made snack. That is, don't keep yourself hungry for a longer period of time, especially in the evening when the college gets over by 4:30. You should immediately swap it with a good fruit. Have a fruit which you should carry along with you, or keep it ready in your room, and you can carry some makana or some peanuts along with it. Roasted peanuts and roasted chana is also very good, nutritious, and a healthy swap for the Maggie, or any aerated drink. You can swap it with a buttermilk or a nimbu pani. Or if the coconut water is easily available, you can have one coconut water also.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I think we will end this lecture now.
Okay, okay, Snehal. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, ma'am. Yeah,
Yeah, bye.
bye.
हाय प्रज्ञा। हेलो प्रज्ञा। हेलो। हाँ ठीक था। तो ना मैम का सर्टिफिकेट डिस्प्ले करना था ना। किया क्या? कब स्टार्टिंग में किया क्या? उनका नहीं मतलब मैम का, मैम के लिए सर्टिफिकेट दिया ना।